Hello everybody and welcome back to the Farming Simulator 25 map guide. Today we're going to be taking a look at the HORSCH AgroVation map. But before that, this video is brought to you by FAMFarmer and Toten Farmer. Thank you for being farm barons. So the HORSCH AgroVation map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Now this map does have a required mod in the HORSCH Pronto Pack, and if we take into account the map size and the required mod, it's looking to be about 712 megabytes to download. Let me read you a little bit of the description. The AgroVation map, modeled after the original HORSCH farm in the Czech Republic, has 18 fields, the average size of 14.92 hectares. There are 6 purchasable forestry lands. Water can be retrieved from the large pond or smaller streams. Not that much of a description, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. Now remember when I said that the average field size was 14.9 some hectares. Well, like I said, that is very, very misleading because, well, we have fields like Field 4, which is 91.75 hectares in size, or Field 3, which is 43.15, or maybe even Field 16, which is 30.66. Sorry, Field 18. So we've got some very, very large fields on this map. Now, with respect to our starting farm, if we do elect to own the farm at the start, well, we start out with farmland ID 21, which is the main farm itself. We can buy that in any alternate mode where we select to not own the farm for $263,000. We also own farmland ID 22 for $224,000. And we own farmland ID 1, farmland ID 2, and farmland ID 5 at the start if we elect to own farmland. Farmland ID 4, for those of interest, you can buy that for $5.5 million. We do have a biogas plant, which can be located here at farmland ID 19 for $121,000. There are a few forestry areas over here to the west, very small forest areas. We've got another small forest area right here at farmland ID 13. And then we do have a production sawmill that we can buy. That is going to be down here to the south of the railroad track. And that basically concludes the 2 productions that are available on this map. We do have all of our standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 25 available to us on this map. If we take a look at our crop counter, we do have the standard FS25 crop counter available to us. Another, in my thought, personal missed opportunity. I'd like to see these Giants delivered maps have different growth schedules, because then somebody could take this map and use it as a basis for their own map, and they'd have a custom growth schedule then within that particular map. We do not have any animal pens at the start available on this map. We do have contracts available, even those for dead wood and wood transport, as well as rock removal. So all of the custom contracts that are new to FS25 are available here on this map. We do have production available to us. Like I said, we have a sawmill and we have a buyable BGA that we could purchase. There are approximately 6 sell points available on this map. And let's go ahead and now take a look at our starting fleet. We start out owning the ACO 8810 tractor. We have the Kloss Flex 1080 grain header. We have the Kloss Lexion 6900 harvester. We have the Fendt 922 Vario tractor. We have the Flegel ASW 271 trailer. We have the HORSCH Mestiro 975 RX planter. We have the HORSCH Partner 1600 FT seed and solid fertilizer front hopper. We have the HORSCH Pronto 6 DC seeder. We have the HORSCH Tiger 8 MT cultivator, or disc harrow, I think that is. We've got the John Deere 8 RT tractor. We have a power washer, Lizard 2017 pickup, and then we have the Nardi N6035 header trailer. We do not have any hand tools on this map, and we do have 50 collectibles. The 50 collectibles are the golden apples. While we're going around and exploring the starting farm, I think now is just about as good a time as any to kind of talk to you about the storied tradition or the storied history of this particular map in Farming Simulator. So the HORSCH AgroVation map, which is to be as close as a representation as the real-to-life HORSCH farm in the Czech Republic, first came to FarmSim 25, no. First came to FarmSim, I should say, in FarmSim 17 as a mod contest. And I wish Giants would bring back the mod contest. It was pretty fun to cover the mod contest, and it was pretty exciting with respect to players to have so many great mods be introduced to the game as a result of that contest. Well, at any rate, this mod contest was set up in order for mappers to basically practice their skills at representing and reproducing a real-to-life area. They were provided images of the farm itself, images of the area. They were provided images of the fields and such, and were basically given a starting map to work with. And then they were to go out and create the maps, submit them, and ultimately the winner would be selected and would get their map put into a DLC for FarmSim 17. So we've got our main building up here. That's where we saw Walter at. It's kind of just an office building. Doesn't have any real purpose here on the game itself. Down here on the lower level, we've got lots of sheds that we can store machinery in. I did find it interesting that we had this odd texture on this particular door. We're going to see that texture pop up a couple more times throughout this farm. Well, at any rate, in FarmSim 19, this came to the game as a mod map by Vertex Design, I believe. So they brought this map forward as a mod map in FS 19. In FS 22, this came to the game as part of the HORSCH pack, which was a paid DLC. A bit of maybe some, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. A little bit of debate as to if it should be a paid DLC or not, since the HORSCH pack and the machinery was previously available in FS 19 as free, but the machinery that was included was updated. It wasn't just the same machinery brought forward. This is going to be a liquid fertilizer storage point. And now we have the map in FS 25, again as a free update. So this is where we have our maintenance trigger for this farm, and we have our activation point right there. Now, with respect to the farms being customizable, this farm is completely and totally uncustomizable. Given the nature and the intent of this farm, as I have said, to represent the real-life location, then I believe that it is intended that you, as a player, not be able to make any changes. So up here, we have our sleep trigger in this little break room. Then we just have some more general machine and implement storage areas. This is going to be our wash bay with our pressure washer. That's where we're going to find our harvester, our header, and our header trailer. For the most part, we're going to be able to go into and store things in all of these sheds on this farm, so we're well equipped to have a very large farm with lots of machinery. All right, so we can put things in all of those sheds. And this large open shed here. We do have some bags of seed and fertilizer. Even more machinery. And like I said, we're going to see that texture again here. So we have that 256 odd texture as well on those stores. I don't know if that's a byproduct of texturing the building. That didn't get the right texture on it, or it's coated something. But we also see a little bit of weird texturing here on this gate as well. 256. And then we have those corner markers. Just something interesting that I saw when I was going around doing my initial reconnaissance of this particular map. And then way off in the distance there, well, that is our farm silo. We've got diesel storage here. So let's make our way over here to our farm silo. While we're going over there, we'll talk a little bit about the performance of this map. So I did load this map up on my test system. My test system is using AMD integrated graphics, specifically the 780M integrated graphics chip. And I'm running that system at a wattage of 40 watts. So I'm maintaining a fairly low power rating for the CPU and the integrated GPU. I was seeing performance anywhere between mid-30s to low 50s on this map. And of course, if you follow my settings guide for lower end systems or maybe gaming handhelds, Windows-based gaming handhelds, then you'll know that I suggest turning FSR on and frame gen on. And as such, I was seeing realistically 60 plus to about 100 FPS on this map, which meant that everything was very, very smooth when I looked around. I didn't have any jerkiness or any slowness of any way. So very, very playable, probably on even the most lowest of end hardware. Here we have a fill station to pull things out of our silo. And then we have our dump station to put our grain in. And that is pretty much the starting farm. Now, as we can see from the PDA, the majority of this map, well, it's going to be agricultural fields, right? It's going to be farming. So we've got farm field 2. We have field 1. We own both of those at the start. And then we have our huge fields, field 3, and our even more huger, if you will, our largest field, field 4, right smack dab in the middle of the map. And then we have some sell points. So the first sell point that we're going to talk about is right outside of our starting farm. Right, so our starting farm's right here. We're going to come out and make our way right down the road. And here we are. So we have one of our sell points located right here. And then we have a warehouse for buying products located right here. So we're going to be able to buy planks, long planks, prefab walls, wooden beams, fabric, clothes, cement bags, barrels, buckets, etc. Things we have learned to expect to be buyable from a warehouse. Right across the way, we're going to find another sell point. This is going to be for bales and products. The Meadow Falls Bales sell point. And then directly in front of that, we're going to have our vehicle shop. Let's go ahead and pick something up. That way we'll see where our vehicles are going to spawn. Right here in front of our vehicle shop. Not the largest area, I will admit. I don't think this is a very large area for implements and vehicles to spawn, given the size of some of these fields. Right, we're going to be buying pretty large machinery, and quite possibly we're going to be buying lots of machinery, potentially at the same time. So we don't really have the largest of area. And with respect to getting out of the shop, well, we've got to get out of this narrow gate, right? So you want to make sure you're going to have a good way of transporting your big and wide machinery out of here, because we don't have the most spacious of gate openings. We have our dealer trigger located over here. And while we don't have any indicator markers showing where that is, it does extend outside of the shed. So we don't have to worry about getting things in the shed in order to maintain it. Continuing across the northern part of the map, just here north of Farmland ID 99, we have another sell point, and that is going to be located right here, the Oak Bridge store. A little residential area here. This all appears to be decorational. No sell points or anything else going on here. David's house, well, that's going to be located right here. And then right down from David, we have a slurry storage structure. So this is where we're going to be able to actually buy slurry, not store it, but we're going to be able to buy slurry from here. There's some of the water that was mentioned where we could buy or fill our water tanks. We have our biogas plant located right here. Once we purchase the biogas plant, we will see those triggers pop up and then be able to make use of that. Then we also have a sell point located right here, kind of right across from the BGA. It is going to be the Sunny Bank store. And we then have another sell point located south of that. That is then going to be the Sunny Bank Bales. And this is what's set up as our animal dealer. We've got Kate here, but there's no actual trigger. So there's no place to actually buy animals on this map. If you want to put animal pens down, you're going to have to buy them at your animal pen. You're not going to be able to buy them at the dealer and transport those. That also means you're going to have to sell your animals at your pasture as opposed to being able to transport and sell them at an animal dealer. South of the railroad tracks, as I mentioned, we do have our sawmill. So we have our wood chip output. We have our bale dump, our wood cell trigger, and our interactive icon and our pallet spawn point for our products here at the sawmill. Back on the north side of the tracks, we have a sell point located right here by our large grain complex. The U Tree store. And then on the other side of this silo complex, well, we have another sell point. It is going to be the bale and products sell point for Yule Tree bales. A little to the east of that location, we have yet another sell point down here. That is going to be the Muddy Field store. And that, honestly, is about it with respect to this particular map. Now, Noah's house is over there by field or farmland ID 95 and 96. We're making our way kind of over in that general direction. But other than that, really everything is going to be kind of to the northeast, just kind of south and west of our starting farm, or down here in the southwest corner of the map. We do have that one sell point in the northwest and that slurry buy point kind of in the central west part of the map. But other than that, this map is very, very agricultural focused with extremely large fields. Giants released this with a nod that it would be ideal for the Nexat pack. Well, I think that is definitely the case, or any other large machinery. Is this really been a fan favorite? I don't know. I don't know anybody that really thinks of this map as a fan favorite, but I'm sure it's got a cult following somewhere. But I do feel that there is a lot of other maps from previous farm sims that folks would have rather have seen be brought forward other than this one. Let me know down in the comments below, what prior farm sim map would you have liked to have seen brought forward as opposed to this one, or would you still like to see brought forward, including this one? Historically, Giants has leaned upon modders in order to bring previous maps forward. I do know there's quite a following for some FS15 maps, FS11 maps, and of course you have Giants Island, which seems to be a staple from the original FS09. And until next time, happy farming.